Today I just want to talk about your ability to access wisdom and the last few days of pretty intense. Um, okay, so on the physical plane, one would, and I could too, buy into the story that my intense heartache is because this person doesn't like me, but what I'm aware of is healing core wounds of separation, which spin out and actually show me core wounding from childhood, abandonment, rejection, um, and indeed, like subtleties of where I in my own soul growth disowned the connection. It's part of the soul's contract to enter into this earthly realm as a being, and then the veiling occurs. It's, you could say it's actually part of like the divinity. It's part of the awakening. The veiling has to occur. I suppose to have teachings as well, to have teachings for beings who are more forgetful of their divinity, even more so. So those of us that are simply in a clearer state of remembrance, that kind of systematic indoctrination is actually part of our soul's growth to be the expression that we're designed to be on this planet. So what I'm very aware of is this intense heart activation and clearing, and continuously being able to show up, regardless of how I feel from one day to the next, regardless of, well, just that, regardless, still showing up to share, still, having cool insights drop in, feeling like a profound anchoring of the new energies, which, like, that just makes me want to cry because it's so exciting. And the reason why, for myself and probably some other beings on this planet, the reason why this cycle completion is just so immense is because this, you could say, point in the galactic timeline is like what every incarnation was ever about. Every incarnation was really about this new birthing of cycle that's happening currently. The approaching full moon in Aquarius or Leo. Or maybe it's a new moon in Leo. Anyway, correct me, guys, if you see this and I'm incorrect. But there's a full moon. It was the second full moon of the month, and it's an eclipse as well. So they'll have that kind of supercharged energy. I'm pretty sure the heart activations are connected to that as well. And deepening in, because in the heartache, what I realize is my capacity for love. And that's, as an adult, I can look back at all of my past relationships and see how unloving I was, how much I didn't love myself, how much I was seeking love and approval from the other person. Even, like, as a yoga teacher and somebody who's, like, I guess considered themselves like conscious or spiritual, all of that has completely really dissolved, because it's like being a completely new person. But again, I can still see, even like 2-3 years ago, I can see the arrogance in me. I can see the neediness in such a way of, like, what else can I get, or I'm not getting what I want. There's a victim. That's a victim, like, because I'm in truth unworthy. I can't genuinely, like, I don't genuinely believe in my ability to create and manifest, and so I expect someone else to make manifest my creation, and that's always tricky, right? Then we get into codependent patterns, and then we stagnate in our relationships, and it tends to be, that's, so if we're stagnating, then that's when our kind of like toxic patterns will start to appear as well. So yeah, just sitting with mammoths of heart activity and sensation and pain, had a massive clearing perspective with regard to what feminists call the patriarchy, and I'm realizing that is like in itself part of the distortion to call our systems like one half. So I'm not gonna call it that anymore. I'm just gonna say it's more about us as people rising above an industry that denies our humanity. So that's like any corporation or business or group of people, whether it's men or women, that could potentially dominate and control over, because we have this sort of false economy set up in the energy of domination and control, in the energy of power over structure, in the energy of blame and attack. So it really, really has nothing to do with gender. It's the energy stream from within self that we're perceiving our reality through, and we're either seeing through division, and polarity, or we're seeing through the light of love. We're seeing through the light of, we're all in this together, and it's true. It's just true. We're here on this infinite, eternal, cosmic journey, as beings, and the love is there. I have to share with you guys that is a pretty heavy duty part of atonement. I was just talking to a teacher about this, the return, the return to one, the return to wholeness, the return to divinity is really, really feeling all the wounds, all the hurt, all the pain. I know that one of the wounds I was healing was very much like, almost like you would say, like when signing the contract to come into form, and knowing I'll be veiled, and knowing that even with the veiling, that I would still disconnect further, I would still disown the spark that I am more, and yet all of it has a divine purpose. All of it is totally divine for the purpose of being here. It just can take a little outworking and some pretty heavy duty emotional storms. And here's the nugget, okay, for the share. I apologize for being a bit wafty. I've been really emotional for days now, and my whole energy center is just like a bit raw. But the deeper I go, so what's shifting for me is my ability to hold space and actually like feel into the beauty of the pain and releasing the pain. But within the pain, the paradox is that often in like what would look like me being in severe pain, inside my head I'm giving thanks. Or inside my head it's saying, just, you're ready to receive now. Be open to receive now. You're ready to receive. Like you have these like repetitive sort of divine intuitive whisperings that come from within, processing profound emotions and going deep within the emotional field. And when I'm in an emotional storm, it reminds me why people don't want to do it, because the depth of it and the stigma around it, right? That we don't realize the indoctrination of feeling your emotions is bad. So you're a bad person. Can you just not feel so much? Could you just not feel so sensitive? Or like, it's almost like saying, could you just not remind me of my humanity? Because I want to be a machine, or I want to be a superstar, or I want to be able to be better than everybody else, because that serves my arrogant identity in the world. And, whatever it might be, we all have a different slant and lace and challenge of our projections, and none of them are right or wrong or good or bad. I'm just aware of this pretty radical process that in A Course in Miracles, it talks about the atonement, the at-one-ment. So that is unraveling and burning through, essentially through the sitting with emotions with the light of your awareness rather than the hooking into the thought form, and penetrating the depth of the emotional field until you really do feel like you're uprooting something rather profound that's been created from within self through distortion, or simply through limited frequency, right? So you're looking through the lens in a different frequency, and that frequency is no longer in service to the whole. So the whole must start to elevate. What I'm aware of even last cycle clearing is the power center. The power center really for me has been clearing itself out for the last 5 years, because I've continuously had to walk away from power dynamic relationships. So if I step up, somebody walks out of my life. So they don't want me as a powerful creator, they want me as their slave. Or somebody walks up and dangles a, carrot, control, domination, dangles some carrot, but then tells me how to talk and tells me how to be, right? So I've created in the last 2 years massive sort of, again, culminating situations in my life that have reinforced my power versus another power, and the difference between giving power away versus integrating my power. And also the subtlety of the intuition, which is always in communication with us. But there again is the being caught up in the illusions, is that we do often want to follow the illusion rather than the intuition, because the illusion, we're taught, is real, but it's not. This connection is real, though. This connection, now your emotions are fluid. We're because of wherever that alignment, so heart, mind, connection, alignment, wherever that alignment is sitting, depending on the thought streams or the different energy patterns coming up for view or trigger, they'll be feeling that, or you'll just be in your stream, right? So you're always in your stream, and then when you bump up against an emotional trigger, then you let waves and storms pass through you and allow yourself to keep going up with different perspectives along the way. Infinite different perspectives and clearings usually come up as well, like simultaneously. I think that's everything I wanted to discuss. Just again, like going into the depth of your emotion, there's so much juicy wisdom in there that no one could work out but you. And again, if you're there sitting yourself or judging the emotions, you're just stifling the wisdom. You're stifling the intuitive guidance. You're stifling the inspiration that you receive when you let yourself drop really deep into the emotional field. Sometimes I feel that maybe that's a little bit more difficult for men, but I don't want to tell some limiting story about the conditions of man and woman. I just want people who resonate with it to feel it, and if you don't resonate with it, then it's no big deal. Sending you guys loads of love and light. Wishing you a glorious day on this Monday, and I'm just sharing really lots of love and honesty and vulnerability, and I'm thankful, very deeply thankful for the love, for the support, for the platform, for living in a time where, I can cry and it's okay, and I can share and find support in different parts of the world. It's pretty cool. Have a great day, you guys. Love you loads. Speak to you real soon. Peace out.